Welcome to the Global Business Women's Pod, brought to you by the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce. I am Susan Dyson and proud to be the CEO, President, and founder of the Chamber. Please join us for this empowering podcast every Thursday at 6 p.m.
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you are having lunch and can enjoy this lunchtime experience. Thank you for inviting me, the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce. You know, I love speaking to this chamber, which I'm a part of. Thank you for the invitation, Shayla White. And today I will be sharing on how to discover your why and power your purpose. For some reason you can't hear me or anything, just please, let me know in the chat and I will see if I can, or you could just let me know, Danette. Because for some reason I'm not able to see the chat. I'm going to try to fix that. Okay, I think I'm good. So what will I share with you? I will begin by just going through some mindset grounding before we dive deep into talking about brand, purpose, and then we'll spend the most of our time about discovering your why. I want to inform you of the tool that you need to use to discover your why and share examples of women and others who have, so that you'll understand what that means to you, so that you can achieve what I call total rebirth. And then at the very end, I will just at least share some resources with you if it would be helpful to you. So just to begin the mindset portion, just to make sure we have the right women or the right individuals in the room, because I do see David there, so I want to be respectful of the fact that David is in the room. If you are a career climber, an emerging leader, or a fempreneur, a woman, meaning a woman-owned business who wants the fastest and most reliable route to discover your why, this keynote is for you. Or if you just really want to build your personal brand for yourself, but you just really don't know what it entails, or if you could be experiencing burnout on multiple levels and have begun quiet quitting, even within your own business, or you might be on the verge of it. This discussion is for you today. Or on a deeper level, if others view you to be successful, but you don't feel like you are a success on a personal, more intrinsic or internal level, you're in the right place for this time. Or if you want to achieve total self-awareness and increase your authority within your industry, or you might want to make a career switch or a pivot, this is the right stop for you right now. And if you know what you do, like in terms of what you do, in terms of your role, in terms of your business right now, but you don't really know why you do it, hopefully this will bring some clarity onto how to understand why. If you desire a personalized or customized professional development experience that currently your company, the one that you own, doesn't offer, or the one that you might be still working for, this discussion is for you. Or if you just really want more balance in life and you want to have the opportunity to succeed on your own terms, or you just really are ready to get clear, stand out, and play bigger, I've designed this information for you. So first, I'd like to highlight three different topics that are quite related. They are psychological freedom, vocational courage, and rebirth. Psychological freedom, vocational courage, and rebirth. So with psychological freedom, this is very important. And it is important because we all need to have this notion of feeling free, this notion of being able to relax in ourselves and relax in our minds. And it's very, very important. So I want us to know the importance of having that. This notion of psychological freedom came from a German psychologist by the name of Erich Fromm, F-R-O-M-M. And it encompasses the capacity to manifest what makes you uniquely yourself without recourse. So you're not being apologetic for being yourself. Another way this might feel and look like is peace of mind, tranquility, repose, bliss, felicity, contentment. This is what it feels like when you have this notion of psychological freedom. Now, vocational courage, on the other hand, is what we would call the boldness to faithfully pursue the fulfillment of one's distinct purpose or your life's work. It's really about developing the clarity and the commitment to make the very difficult decisions necessary to align your daily work with your life work. So another way, vocational courage really is about purpose. And I learned about it through a book called The Purpose Path by Dr. Nicholas Pierce. This is Dr. Nicholas Pierce, and he further shares that vocational courage is about finding and pursuing your true purpose in life. And it's about making sure that your life is reflected in your daily work. It's reflected in your daily work. It's basically, you're not having to live two lives or code switch as a way of life. You're able to look at yourself in the mirror and be yourself all the time. And rebirth for me is about the action. Now, traditionally, rebirth is about reappearing, or the act of reappearing or starting to flourish. It's about growth. After someone has experienced a decline, it's about revival. And for brand rebirth, which is the name of my company, for me, it's about change that leads to a new period of growth and improvement for your brand. This is the rebirth that I'm talking about. These are the three areas that I focus on: leadership coaching, training and development, and speaking. So let's talk a little bit about brand. Branding was developed a very long time ago. When I speak about on this topic, I share a lot of history on how branding got started, but way back in ancient Egypt, before the time of, before Christ, really, 3000 to 1000 BC. But we won't get into that today. But what I want you to focus on and highlight is that the fact is that your brand is the single most important investment that you can make in your business. So if you're here, this is a good thing. We always need to invest in our brands. And in this case today, we will be talking about our personal brands in particular. I'd like to quickly share a definition of what a brand is, because I know that there are many definitions out there that might be confusing and sometimes misleading. So from my standpoint, a brand consists of, and it's at the bottom of your screen, of vivid, tangible, it consists of vivid and intangible associations or attributes. And basically, I'm talking about words. A brand consists of words that exist in one's mind or heart about a product or a service. But in this case, you as a person are the product or service. So because we're talking about a personal brand. So basically, your brand really centers around the words that are used to describe you or associate with you. And all of these things collectively create what we call the magical pull towards your customer. We all want to have this magical pull, and we want it to be a positive pull as well. When you think about marketing, you're pushing things out, but with branding, you're pulling things in, and you should think about your brand as a repository of information, and it really is a storehouse of meaning. So what we'll talk about in a few moments will be about looking at purpose and why, and making sure that you understand what those things mean to you and how you operate. Now, many years ago, I created this brand pyramid in my work in the corporate sector. And what I just want to say here is that similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, many of you might be aware of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And with Maslow, basically your physiological needs are at the bottom. And once you've met all of your physiological and physical needs and you get to the top, you achieve what we call self-fulfillment or self-awareness. So this is the same concept with branding. You have to build your brand in the way so that you can get to this notion of self-awareness. And in the case of a brand like your company or organization, getting to the point of knowing what your brand promises, what you're going to offer to your customer, this offer that you will make and you will always make, is really the pinnacle of your brand. But this is for an organization or your company. What about you as a person? So in response to what I saw was missing in the marketplace in terms of brand modeling, I developed this notion of the why brand. And the why brand is really a brand focused on a person. It's a personal brand that's focused on your why. Now, at the very end, I'll give you an opportunity to have this or download it, so I won't go over it in detail. But what I want to say is that your personal brand should begin, it should start with why. Understanding why you do what you do, because your why leads you to your purpose. I'd like to share that. And the full why brand transformation really takes place when all of these aspects and various components are discovered. A lot of brand development work should really focus on discovery first before activation. So as it relates to you as a person, all of these things here are really sit in your brain. Branding is very cerebral, strategic branding that is. And so a lot of what you see here, coming up with a prevision or vision for your brand, identifying your strengths, meaning your Gallup-Clifton strengths. This starts in your brain, and then it permeates through your heart and through your muscles. Actually, your strengths are all throughout your body. Solving customer problems, conducting a personal SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, analysis on you. This is all a part of developing a solid brand. I coach on this. I'll move on. I'll share it at the very end. I'll give you an opportunity. We can go deeper on this at another time. If you want to understand the brand pyramid, you can quickly scan this QR code. This is a total gift. If you want to understand how to apply the brand pyramid that I shared with you to your company brand. This is my gift. It's sitting on Udemy for a little while. The price fluctuates at times, but it's really my gift. It is, I guess, a 2-hour masterclass, and I walk you through each rung of that. Moving on. Also, I developed a personal branding masterclass that takes you through a number of important items to help you build your why brand. And I'll share more about this at the end. This will be included at the end. So let's jump into purpose. And I'll ask for you to plug into what I'm saying, and because I will solicit your feedback and involvement. So get ready to start thinking about what your purpose is, because I like to hear from a few of you, okay? So we're going to talk about purpose right now, and then we're going to move into why discovery for the remainder of the time that I have with you. So purpose, just to have some level setting, purpose is really, even if it's related to an organization or a company or yourself, it is a bold affirmation or a reason for being. It is why something exists. And because I'm talking about personal brands, we're talking about what have you been put on this earth to do, period. Not just for your company, but for yourself. Because the purpose is a driving force that enables a personal brand or a company, an organization to define its true brand and to create a desired culture. And this applies for you too. So what I'll do is I'll talk to you about Simon Sinek, and we'll go through some purpose examples really quickly with some organizations. So how many of you have heard of Simon Sinek? How many of you follow Simon Sinek? Please let me know in the chat. I just want to know where we are with our level of familiarity with Simon Sinek. He is known for starting with why. He is known for purpose. Oh, thank you, Nayaira. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. So he wrote, Start with Why, How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. Has anyone else heard of Simon Sinek? Oh, thank you, Alicia. You follow his work. So great. So for those of you who follow his work, you might be familiar with the notion of the golden circle. So, and I'm sharing this with you because you'll see it again in a few minutes in a different way when we're talking about your personal why. So when looking at the golden circle that Simon Sinek created, we start from the outside and we work our way in. So if we think about purpose, this is really about what either an organization does or what you do. This is very easy. It's easy to state. It's, it kind of sits in the mission box. What do we do? Or what do we produce? What do we create? So with Alicia, she most likely creates something related to consulting. She creates that. She creates that. She solves for something. But when we move into a layer, we need to look at how we do that. So when we think about an organization, this refers to the processes, the values, the strategic plans, and the like. And when it refers to an individual, it's how you do things. What is your unique way of getting to the middle? So when you move on into the middle, this purpose, I would really focus on the purpose, really is a driving force. It's the big picture. It answers the question why you're doing what you are doing. What is your contribution? What is the driving force, really? Why do you exist as a brand? Why does the company exist as a brand? So this is what the Golden Circle is about. And what another important thing that I'll share, and the last thing that I'll share about Simon Sinek is that he talks a lot about, well, he states that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Meaning that they should buy into why you are doing something. When people purchase from you or purchase from your business, they want to know a little bit more about your story. They want to know what they are buying into, and they want to know why they're buying into it, not just what. Is very, very important. So now this is time for many of you to participate. I'll share, this is a purpose statement challenge. So I'll share the purpose statement and I'll ask you to place in the chat which brand belongs to this purpose statement. So for example, to provide impartial news and information to help people. Is this BBC's purpose statement, CNN's, or Fox's? I have one answer. I have two. I have three. I have from Chelsea. I have BBC, from Nayara, Alicia. Anyone else? So I think we have a quorum. The correct answer is BBC. So you know that. And why do you know that? Why do you think that is the case? Why do you believe that to be the case? You're welcome to come off mute and share that.
I can share. Hi, this is Alicia. I think this one, what stuck out to me is that word impartial. And based on what I knew about CNN and Fox News, I didn't feel like that was a value alignment for either of them. So it was a true indicator in that word impartiality.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Alicia. So the next one is this one. To help women feel great about themselves and their potential. Is this coming from Shapermint, Spanx, or Honeylove? Nayara sharing Spanx. Evan is sharing Spanx. Anyone else? Any takers for Honeylove or Shapermint? To help women feel great about themselves and their potential. Honeylove is a similar type of brand, Alicia, but they haven't been in the game as long as Spanx. So thank you. Yes. To help women feel great about themselves and their potential is the correct one. So it's really not about, as you can see, the purpose is not about the product. It's not about the what. Yes, Sarah Blakely is amazing. I love her. She's made me look and feel great with her products. So if you've noticed, it's given them the latitude to expand into other types of products, but still all those products should meet their purpose. I have two more. To glorify God by being a faithful steward of all that is entrusted to us and to have a positive influence on all who come into contact with our company. Is this coming from KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chick-fil-A, or McDonald's? Chick-fil-A, one for Chick-fil-A, two. Okay. Raul and Melissa. Chelsea, okay. I think all of you are in alignment. Yes. Yes. It is Chick-fil-A. It is Chick-fil-A. And with, if we had more time, we can get into it, but it's amazing that you know that, for a fast food restaurant. That's really powerful. They're doing the right thing. And the last one, to help individuals and organizations boldly unleash authenticity so that they can thrive. Is this coming from JP Morgan Chase and Co., Royal Dutch Shell, or Brand Rebirth? This might have caught you off of guard. Off guard. Yes, it is Brand Rebirth. This is my purpose. And because I own the company and I'm a fempreneur, it has become my company's purpose. Thank you, Shayla, Chelsea, and Roel. Yes, to help individuals, people like you, and organizations, companies, boldly unleash authenticity so that they can thrive. This is what I exist to do all the time. I may add a word or two depending on the environment and the audience, but it is at the core. This is what I know that I've been put on this earth to do. Authenticity is about being respectful, relatable, and real. And in every instance, if I come into your presence, I will try to push you to become more authentic, because I think it has a ripple effect for individuals. So now is a time for you to just quickly share what your purpose is. Feel free to put what you believe your purpose to be in the chat, or if you already know, please share it with us in the chat. If you feel more comfortable with just sharing it verbally, please do so. Just looking for maybe one or two people to share what they believe their purpose to be. And if you haven't fully fleshed it out yet, it's okay. If you want to share what you've been thinking about, what you think others may feel your purpose is about. Some of you may say, well, this is why I came to this, this meeting. And that's fine. Does anyone have an idea of their purpose? Because it is really important. If not, what I can share is that I believe that knowing your why leads you to your purpose. Alicia shared that her purpose is to improve the experiences of marginalized employees at work. So that's really powerful. Now, do you do this outside of your business, Alicia? Is it about people? Do you have causes that you support because you don't like for people to be disenfranchised and marginalized? Feel free to just share.
Sure. I think this is not only something that I feel deeply about, but it also I've been impacted by this purpose statement. And so the whole nature, the whole, even purpose of my business is to fulfill kind of this goal I have to improve the experiences of marginalized folks at work, which looks different than, like you were saying, the how. This is totally the why I'm doing the work, and what I feel like the calling is. And as far as kind of my personal life, I feel like everything about my life's trajectory and experiences and education and previous roles has all led up to the same purpose statement as well.
Congratulations, very powerful. Thank you. Nayara, would you like to share? You have a very powerful one. I can share it, but it might sound better coming from your voice.
Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
So it's empower women through photography so they can celebrate their lives, bodies, and feel amazing about themselves.
Oh, wow. That touched me as well. To empower women through photography so that they can celebrate their lives, their bodies, and feel amazing about themselves. That's beautiful as well. And to improve the experiences of marginalized, I would say people, really people, and then for your business, it probably will be at work, Alicia. Thank you for sharing, both of you. Were you saying something, Nayara? I'm sorry.
No, just my kids got home, so it's not.
Okay,
Sorry.
no worries. So this is very helpful. Thank you both. So what I'd like to share, because we're about to move into the why discovery portion, is that I believe that discovering your why you operate the way that you do helps to lead you to your purpose. And I'll share that again at the end, but keep this in mind. Your purpose, so if we're talking about improving the experiences of marginalized people or employees at work, and then empowering women through photography so they can celebrate their lives and bodies and feel amazing about themselves, these are strong purpose statements. But your why should help you operate in a certain way on a daily basis so that you can arrive at your purpose. Your purpose should outlive you. Your purpose should outlive you. It's something that it's not a goal. It's not a vision. It is a reason for being. And if you have a company and that company shares your purpose, as you bring people on who are in alignment with your purpose, that's the ideal position so that your purpose can live on through others. But how you operate is your why. And let's start talking about the why discovery. So there are 9 whys, and everyone has one. And Annette was so kind to share that I am a certified professional coach with the Why Institute. And there are 9 whys, and everyone has one. Now, how did this come about? It was not just pulled out of a hat. Dr. Gary Sanchez started the Why Institute because he wanted to understand his why, and he paid Simon Sinek to coach him privately for 8 months because he wanted to understand his personal why, not the why for his business, but for himself. And he found that it was taking a very long time to keep asking why. The golden circle process can take some time. I don't imagine that Alicia nor Nayara took 5 minutes to come up with their why statements. It comes from a deep place, their purpose statements, but it takes time. So he interviewed hundreds and thousands of people, and he was able to come up with the 9 whys through a very rigorous process using technology. And so now he has been able to shortcut the process. So for some of you, do you ever wonder why you are passionate about some things and you're not passionate about other things? Have you ever thought about why you do what you do? Why? Excuse me, not what, but why? In many cases, you might know what you do. You might even know what your purpose is, but in some cases, you might not know why you do it, why you behave, why you operate in a certain way. And this is what I'm here to share with you, is that this is a tool that Dr. Gary Sanchez developed. And the beautiful thing about this is that it takes 5 minutes to answer some questions that come from a pool of 1,500 questions, but everyone that responds only has to respond to about 15. And we're able to discover your why. So the golden circle that I shared with you, that Simon Sinek created, the why discovery has taken that concept and has applied it to the person. And it's very powerful. So what are the 9 whys? I've talked about them at a very high level or mentioned them. Take note of the 9 whys, And for the rest of the bulk of our time, I'll go through variations of the whys. So they are contribute, trust, make sense, better way, right way, challenge, mastery, clarify, and simplify. And what we say at the Why Institute is that your unique seed was planted at birth. You were born with this ability to operate in this way, and you should consider it to be a superpower. Now, with the why, there's some what we call brain biology. And I imagine that some of you have heard of, the notion of the left brain and the right brain and being whole-brained, basically using both your rational and analytical side of the brain, or we also call this your neocortex because it sits on the outer edge. But your inner portion of your brain, I can't really show you, but you can look at the schematic. is what we call your limbic brain. And in your limbic brain, feelings like loyalty and trust sit there. There's no decision making and there's no language. And when people make decisions because it just feels right, and they're speaking and using their limbic brain. But when they justify what they've done, they're analyzing it with their neocortex. How many of you have purchased something that you didn't need when you were in a retail store or on Amazon? I would imagine that some of you would say yes. So that is because that is speaking to your limbic brain. And the idea is that once you understand your why, and you are around other people who understands and knows their why, you're able to communicate on the limbic brain, and you're able to communicate in a way and share what you believe. Shayla, do you have a question, or are you just responding? Let me know. Now, before diving a little bit further, I want you to understand that there is something called a motivational why and a real why. So a lot of times we believe that our children, our family members are the reason for being, like, this is your why. But what I like to offer is that your reason for doing something in your life is more of a motivation. Your why is a driving force behind everything you do, and it's permanent. It doesn't change. Whereas the motivational why on the left side is short term. It's a short term push towards a goal, and it could change as your circumstances change. And it requires like motivation and a momentary status. It kind of motivates you to work towards something. But your why, on the other hand, is always there, and it is there through every decision and situation. And what the great thing about it is that it brings lasting clarity and purpose to your life. Purpose to your life. So let me explain the 9 whys, because a little bit more for you at a very high level. So the contribute why, someone with a contribute why has a why, meaning that they like to contribute. They believe the success happens when they contribute to a greater cause, when they make a difference, and when they add value or they have impact. There's a lot of data for each why, but I'm providing an overview. Someone with a trust why likes to create relationships and build relationships based on trust. That is why they operate the way that they do. Make sense whys make sense out of things, especially things that are complicated. Better way whys find a better way, and they don't just find it, but they actually share it. They're very focused on innovation and improvement. They always want to find a better way. Now, right way, on the other hand, likes to do things in a certain way, in a certain order to get results. They go like in a straight line. They're not going to go all around. The challenge wise, or think differently wise, they actually think differently. They challenge outdated processes. Mastery wise seek mastery. These are the experts in multiple fields and multiple specialties, and they want to understand. So they go deep. They're after depth. Clarify wise want to make things crystal clear and understandable, and simplify wise want to decrease complexity. This is what they want to do. This is how they start. So similar to the golden circle, the YOS, meaning operating system. Thanks, Shayla. I saw your comment. Yes, you purchased things that you don't need before. Your YOS refers to your Y operating system. And it's similar to the golden circle. You work your way out and in. So your what is your deliverable? This is what people or others see and what they expect from you. Your how refers to the direction that you're going, like how you internally process things and actually how you bring your why to life. But the why that's sitting in the center is in the driver's seat. And the how is the direction you're going. The driver, the why there that you see in red is behind what you do from an operational standpoint. It existed before you had a family. It existed before you had this job or this business. And you've been operating in this way pretty much for a very long time. So who do we have here? Who is this beautiful and accomplished person? We have Shayla White. Now, I had the pleasure of discovering her why, not her YOS, but her why. And Shayla has a why of clarify. So what this means is that Shayla believes that clarity comes with better decisions and clearer direction. She is a master in communication and she seeks to be fully understood at all times. And it's important for her to understand and get what people are saying. And she actually feels quite successful when her message has been completely understood. So I've experienced that with Shayla. Like she may share something with me or message me, and if I take too long to respond, she might say, hey, did you get that? Did you follow me? She needs that because she's a clarified why, and it's a powerful why, because you will not be unclear when working with Shayla or interacting with her. You will be clear. So Oprah Winfrey. So I want you, now that I've shared some basic information with you, I want you to guess what her why might be. I've narrowed it down to 2 choices, don't worry. So do you think Oprah Winfrey has a why of challenging the status quo, thinking differently, or she has a why of trust? She is viewed as a trusted source. She builds relationships based on trust. She creates long and lasting relationships. Or she operates in a way that she just wants to be different. It has to be different. Or is it more important for her that she establish trust? What do you think might be her why? That could be a part of it, yes. Well, what we believe now, we know we have a one. Yes. So Nayara asked, could it be more than one? So yes, with the why, I shared these whys with you. There are 9 whys. The top 3, after you are discovered, after you take the quiz, the top 3 become your why, how, and what. So you do have 3 whys, but the number 1 why is the one that is considered to be your why you do. And your second one speaks to how you achieve that why. So for Oprah Winfrey, what we believe that trust is her primary why. It's the first one. Now, it could be that she achieves trust through challenging the status quo. But at the end of it all, she builds relationships based on trust. And thank you for responding, because people trust Oprah. She can get a lot of information out of basically anyone, because that is, we believe, is her superpower. Thank you for your participation on that. So here's a local business owner from Etanoff Realty Group. Her name is Carissa Etanoff. And I coached her on her YOS. And she has a Y operating system, a YOS of contribute, make sense, and clarify, which means that she believes her success happens when she contributes to a greater cause. It's really about having a bigger impact and making a difference, and a positive difference for Carissa. But how she operates in this fashion is that she solves complex and challenging problems, and ultimately what she delivers is a clear solution. You will be clear. What she gives, what she delivers will be clear. But her why she operates is from a contribute standpoint. So even with the work that she does, she really helps a lot of single mothers find homes, build lives, because she has a why of contribute. She needs to contribute in order for her to operate in her fashion. But how she does that is she solves complex problems, because divorces are very messy, or can be, and then she brings a clear solution. So she knows that now, and she's been able to do that. And this is a second career for her, because she was an occupational therapist first, but still she picks, I guess, careers or roles where she can serve others. And what about me? My why operating system is challenge, better way, and contribute. So I lead with thinking outside of the box, thinking differently, being courageous and bold to think in a certain, operate in a certain way. And how I do that is I find a better way and I share it. And ultimately what I do is I have to contribute. I feel like I'm hopefully contributing now with you. I want to have a positive impact on your life, even for this short hour. This is my why operating system. How many of you know Meredith Wheeler? She's the co-founder of Sesh Co-working. I had the honor of discovering her why, and she has the why of contribute, challenge, and trust. So she believes, similar to Carissa, that success happens when she contributes to a greater cause. And she has many causes. One of them is serving disenfranchised communities, serving women, serving LGBTQs, people, serving women. But she has certain causes, and she does this by challenging the status quo and thinking differently. She contributes, but she challenges it in the way that she's going to challenge certain things. And ultimately what she's really after is she's after trust. She builds trust. People trust Meredith because they know that she's going to go the extra mile and think differently, because ultimately what she's doing is she just really wants to contribute. Now, when you think of the why operating system, the order matters. If Meredith had a why of trust and a how and a what of contribute, like if the first and the third were reversed, she would show up differently. She would operate differently. So the sequence matters. There are phrases that describe everyone. Now, Yebe Jallo is based in Senegal. She used to work here in Houston, and this is how I met her. And she reached out to me early this year because she wanted to go through this process. And we identified that she has a why of mastery, a what of right way, and a how of right way, and a what of trust. So for Yebe, she believes that success happens when she dives in deep and she understands nuances. She needs to see the details. She needs to master it. And how she does that is that she follows the rules. She creates predictable results. And because she can create predictable results, she develops trust. And she's been able to work with the president of France, President Macron, great leaders, the Gates Foundation, like leaders, Prince Charles, like she is a trusted digital journalist who's worked with the UN for a number of years. And when she discovered her why, she understood it, it was powerful because she's considering other career transitions. And this last one I'd like to share with you is also from another client who shares my why of challenge, but has a different how and what. She has a how of mastery and a what of trust. So for Mercedes Martin, who is the CEO of her own independent consultancy, she has a why of thinking differently, living outside of the box. She believes in having the courage to be different. She doesn't follow the rules. She likes to create and innovate. She's a game changer. She loves to be different and she thinks differently. She actually wants to change the world. But how she operates in her why of challenge is through mastery. She seeks information. She goes deep. She looks for subtle differences. And she's often viewed as an expert because of her depth of knowledge, because ultimately what she wants to do is she wants to develop trust. She delivers trust because she believes that when there's trust, the sky is the limit. So yes, my why is challenge, my how is better way, and my what is contribute. We start off with challenge, but we break off differently, and it feels differently. It feels differently. Now, I shared a lot of information with you in a short time, but just know that when you know your why, it helps lead you to your purpose. You're able to operate in passion with your purpose. So what does this mean? I shared that my why is to challenge the status quo and to think differently. When I'm challenging the status quo and thinking differently and finding a better way and contributing, I am being led to my purpose of helping individuals boldly unleash authenticity in organizations so that they can thrive. It is very difficult to be authentic and not think differently. They go hand in hand. And when I created this purpose statement about 4 years ago, I didn't know my why. But when I discovered my why a few years later, there was a strong connection between the two. And I would venture that that would be the same for Alicia and Nayara and others who have identified their purpose but want to know how they need to be operating on a daily basis. And when you're not operating in your why, you're not being led to your purpose. There's a strong correlation to it. There's really a symbiotic relationship with that. So when you want to achieve total rebirth, you should make sure that you identify your why, you discover it, you're living your why on a personal level. If you have a team, I can help you understand the why of your team and put together a matrix so you'll understand how everyone relates. But ultimately, all of these 3 things should be in sync with your company purpose, or if it's just you right now, your purpose. This is what total rebirth is. It's about building the brand from the inside out. When I share a link, our QR code in a second, you'll be able to go to a place and read testimonials at your own time and own pace. I've shared one with you. When you go to brand-rebirth.com and you go into the Why Discovery page, under coaching, you'll be able to see a testimonial like this. What I like to share is that if you want to discover your why, I can help you because I've extracted this process out of my coaching program, which is a 12-step program, to just help you understand your why over 2 sessions. If you can scan that QR code if you're interested in learning more. In the first session, we go through the whole discovery and the whole host of things. And there's information that you can review later to go into the details. And the second session is really about reflections. And in between sessions 1 and 2, I share a mindset journal with you that allows you to document your affirmations and set goals now based on your why. Because this is considered to be a rebirth. The day that you were born is your first, obviously, birth, and the day that you discover why. This came from Mark Twain. This is what rebirth really is about. If you want to know, I have a full 12-session coaching program, and what I want to highlight here is that I start with why and move into personal core values. And I really cover strengths, because I believe that once you understand your why operating system, when you think about that second why, your how, your strengths, your Clifton strengths, help you understand how to better achieve your how. I know I'm sharing a lot with you, but just follow me. Your strengths speak to how you achieve your why. My strengths of ideation, being strategic, belief and connection enable me to create a better way and live my why of challenging the status quo of thinking differently. This is page 2 of that. I have some more testimonials that you can see if you'd like to hear about others who've experienced the coaching program and how it has benefited them. And at the beginning, I shared that I have a personal branding masterclass. So it is called How to Build Your Personal Why Brand. And I discuss a number of things: how to develop your vision, how to discern your unique strengths, how to cultivate your mindsets, how to focus on your well-being. This is complimentary: how to eliminate the crippling feelings of burnout and imposter syndrome, and more. So at this time, I would encourage you and ask you to scan this QR code. What I'm asking of you is to provide feedback. Let me know how this went for you. And as a thank you, after going here, just entering your name and your email address, this code should automatically appear for you, Why Discovery. And what I'll share with you, you'll have a digital download of the 9 whys, because I might have had to go through that pretty quickly for you. And I want you to be able to at least see the 9 whys. If you want to know if you want to get access to the personal branding masterclass, I'll provide access just with the QR code there. If you want to see the Why Brand framework, the full Why Brand anatomy that I shared with you really quickly, if you want to look at that and see how it relates to you, you can click onto this. You can scan this QR code. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the coaching program, I've just listed the same information. But if I want to make sure you understand your 9 whys, and I'll be happy to help you with that. This is a link that's been shared in the chat, so I won't reflect on it. And we started here, and I'd like to end here. We started with some mindset grounding, talking about psychological freedom, vocational courage, and rebirth. And simply put, it is hard, it is difficult to have a strong personal brand if you are not well on the inside and you haven't achieved your personal self-awareness. So building that brand requires a mindset grounding, knowing your purpose, and discovering your why, which helps lead you to your purpose so that you can have this notion of total rebirth. And the resources that I shared with you are here. So if you didn't get a chance to scan the QR code, please feel free to do so now. And I'd like to thank you for participating, for listening. Do know that when you build your brand based on your why, you play to your strengths, you get noticed, you feel valued, and you have unlimited energy. Muchas gracias. Thank you for this opportunity to share with you, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again next Thursday at 6 p.m. For more information about the Chamber and our podcast, please visit us at ghwcc.org.